because it sends a message to the rest of the team. So yes, terminating someone is hard. Keeping someone that's not the right fit is hard. You get to pick your hard. So if you've never had to fire somebody, it's a very daunting and overwhelming task. And even for many of our agency owners, firing somebody is something that is just dreaded. And I completely understand and agree with that. However, I also understand that maybe sometimes we make the wrong hire, maybe we've inherited the wrong hire. And I've always looked at it like I need to get them out of here so they can find what they're really, truly going to be happy with. I'm not happy with their performance. We're not in a place where we're adding value together. So as somebody who cares about the person, I need to care about them in a way that matters the most. And oftentimes we run into the idea that the person's not a good cultural fit. And I've been there many times. And also as cultures developed and maybe become more performance driven, or, there's different roles and hats, and you're trying to get more systematized and standardized, you're trying to focus on technology. You have to realize your culture will change, and potentially that person got hired 7 years ago and that's not their jam anymore. And because you've developed and given them the opportunity to develop with you, and if they haven't taken that opportunity, sometimes you do have to make hard decisions. And so I like to say that many times in agencies, we become passive aggressive versus dealing with the issue. So the issue actually becomes so much worse. So your steps are, if somebody is just not a good cultural fit, is really biting the bullet and addressing it. You might have let it go on for years. So this first addressing is going to feel really, really overwhelming. You're going to doubt yourself. You're going to blame yourself. But the idea is that this is the first reconciliation to make sure everybody's on the same page. Lay out your expectations. Let them know, hey, I know it's been going on for a long time. We're at a place now where it's got to get better and it's got to change. And I want to give you every tool and resource to do that. And just be very open and honest. I think it can be a conversation versus getting called in the principal's office. And once you set those expectations, you really need to have weekly coaching meetings with the person. Like, how's it going? How are you doing using the radar? How are you doing using Indio? Like whatever it might be, and keep that going, but let them know that you're watching and you're paying attention. This isn't going to go away, because most likely in the past, you've said things and then it just kind of went away. And that's the thing we're trying to reset. The next thing is it continues to be insubordinate, right? And you have to use big language like insubordination after you've worked with them. And if they're just being stubborn and choosing not to do it, it does need to lead to a formal write-up or a performance improvement plan. Now, agencies struggle with this because, well, what does that really mean? It means something to the person, and that's what you're trying to do. It also is great for documentation in the event that this is not going in a great place. So, yes, saying, hey, you know what? I hate to do this, but we've been over this, and the clear expectation, you're still not using it. So I'm putting a formal write-up in your file. And I really need you to listen and adhere to these new policies and standards. And then you keep monitoring it. If it gets worse, you put them on a performance improvement plan that clearly lays out, hey, this could be the determination. And if you do take a look at the blog that this podcast is associated with, we actually have a free download of a performance improvement plan you can use. And then you just have to do what you say you're going to do. This time, the person has fired themselves. Okay. And I say that because I think we overthink it. We get real tripped up on things. Persons fire themselves. You were clear. You outlined it. You gave them the warning shot. They're not adhering to it. They're actually asking you to fire them. They're not going to leave on their own if maybe they're looking, but you also have to do what you say you're going to do, because it sends a message to the rest of the team. So yes, terminating someone is hard. Keeping someone that's not the right fit is hard. You get to pick your hard.